and the drums. Turn that up, turn that up. They want the drums. Yeah, drums. Yeah.
Welcome to Seattle. This is Gene Dexter with the Gene Dexter Show. Today, I've got someone from the boom bap community. If you don't know what that is, you're going to find out. The gentleman sitting next to me is or was co-founder of Sport and Life Records, a rather known entity here in Seattle. And he's got a lot of great series of videos and a lot of just really cool things going on online. And he also had some very interesting things to say last summer on Twitter. So I thought while I was in town, I definitely got to get with him and catch up. Please meet Mr. FLEETA Partee. How are you, FLEETA?
How you doing, Gene?
Oh, really, really well. How you feeling?
Feeling good, Gene. It's always good to be here with Gene Dexter, having a good conversation, enjoying the finer things in life.
Well, there you go. You know, this was kind of interesting. You told me that this site, and I'm not going to say where it is, but you said that this was the site of your video, Huey Newton. Is that correct?
That is correct, Gene. This is where we came out with the note work, and we filmed Huey Newton, my latest single that's going through the process of marinating on radio, and you can maybe catch it on your local blog and the website, FLEETAPARTEE.com. So yeah, we were here and ultimately got overcharged and kicked out, Gene.
And well, here we are anyway, and they haven't kicked us out yet. So I think, okay, we're all good. Well, all right. So let's just start now with the name. Lately, I've been interviewing people with very, very unique names. Yours is certainly one of the most unique. What is FLEETA Partee? Please explain.
FLEETA Partee is my real name. I was named after Fleeta Drungo, Jonathan Jackson, and George Jackson, the Soledad brothers. Google that. My dad was involved in the Black Panther Party, black activism, and black power as a culture and a mind state in general. So thus the name FLEETA Partee, Gene.
Wow. Well, I'm learning something every moment. So, all right. The latest single, Huey Newton, obviously a revered figure, a controversial figure, but you know, someone who a lot of us respect for his views. What do you think his view today would be about hip-hop and the music industry? What do you think his position would be on it? What would he say if he were sitting here?
That's interesting, Gene, because I thought that to myself the other day. You know, I was watching the video, because sometimes I do that. I go through my own work and just look at it and over-critique it and things of that nature. And I think what he would say is it's a lot of whackness, a lot of coonery, and a lot of oversaturation. But I also think he would say there's a lot of good talent out there. There's a lot of artists doing hard work. And that the indie game is where it's at right now, Gene.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think he would have actually touched on the music industry if he had an opportunity?
Definitely, because it's just so influential in our everyday life, from the way people dress to what they eat, to what they're going to buy and things of that nature, just the whole way society operates right now. I definitely think he would have some things to say about what's going on in the music industry at this point right now.
Every little thing I do. Now, you have been working with some really notable producers. For the Huey Newton single, it was Bean One, but also Jake One and Vitamin D from the Rhyme Sayers camp. How has that experience been, and how did you get together with such great production?
Well, we all come from the same era. You know, when they first got started in the game, that's what it was. It was boom bap. We sort of grew up or got together in those early beginnings of that time for us, loving that same type of sound, though everybody wasn't as buddy, you know, as people might think, but we were all associates, a good creative competition amongst everybody. And when I decided to come back to the music game, I just kind of went to who I'd been dealing with, who I was familiar with, whose sound I felt. I write from the soul, I create from the soul. And that's what I feel. I feel Jake What? I feel Beam One. I feel Vitamin D. So it's not just something plastic. God bless, they're in the game and everybody's got a solid name at this point right now. That's just a plus. But it's just something that I feel. It was right. It worked. It is working. And God bless them for dealing with me and working with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, these are definitely name brands, but it's good that there's also something very familial, about the relationship. It's not just business, not just music. So, before I go on, I want you to note what this man is wearing. We call him the Polo King, and for very good reason. When did this fashion style or fashion sense start for you?
Well, first, salute and shout out to the lowlifes all over the world. They're basically the ones that kick-started, not the fad, but the implementation of Ralph Lauren into hip-hop culture. And so I caught wind of what they were doing probably around the late 80s and whatnot. You've seen it through the videos. You've seen it through the tapes you were buying, the interviews you might see, not back then, not online, but maybe through TV or something of that nature. And I started collecting probably around mid to late 90s. I probably lost 2 or 3 wardrobes in between the time then, but I got a few storages full of it, closets full of it, and it's an addiction. It's an addiction. But shout out to the lowlifes because they're the inspiration at the end of the day. They're the ones who brought it to hip-hop culture. And I'm just a low head, a cat who collects. Got a lot of vintage wear, got a lot of modern contemporary wear, and I just love it. It is what it is. Seattle Polo King, FLEETA Partee. I dare anyone to challenge me.
Well, all right. So, another motivation for the interview actually started for me last summer. You had some very interesting things to say on Twitter. Tonight happens to be the first of the closing nights for the MACKELMORE Heist tour, the North American tour, right here in Seattle, closing out over the next 3 nights. And you had some really interesting comments about his trajectory and what was happening. Could you please share some of those thoughts and then the reasoning behind them, and then we'll take it from there.
Shout out to Macklemore. Well, first of all, you have to understand, FLEETA Parteee is out in the world. Season ticket Seahawk holder, in and out of state. I love to shop. I love to eat at nice restaurants. I got children. We're going to the movies all the time. We might be in the malls. We could be anywhere. And everywhere I go, it's a Macklemore song. Which means in the game, Macklemore is doing things to make sure these songs are certain places, which is what is done. We understand what it is. We can't give the secrets away, but we know what it is, Gene. And certain aspects of what he was doing wasn't fitting with the life mood that was going on at the time when I was hearing these songs. And to me, hip-hop is a chronological timeline of things that go on in life, of things that we do, of clothes that we wear, of people that we see. So at that time, I was somewhere and I was watching something that was sports themed, and I hear thrift shop. Now, I'm not a thrift shopper unless I'm looking for Polo vintage wear. But at the same time, it just didn't fit to me. And it was just a product of not what Macklemore as a person was doing. To some degree it was, because he's playing that part of the game. It's corporate placement for the things that they're promoting. And it just didn't fit. And it just seemed forced. And it seemed unorganic.
So do you think that maybe it went a little too wide you know, the album, and it's just covering so many bases: the sports community, the gay community.
I mean, I wouldn't even place it on him. I would yeah, it's the machine, and it's like, I'm gonna give it to you here, I'm gonna give it to you there, I'm gonna give it to you here, I'm gonna give it to you there, and then I don't want it anymore.
Well, you know, with 7 Grammy nominations, though, I mean, you know, something's working. Wouldn't you agree?
Something's definitely working on his end, Gene. But at the same time, anything that's given too much is too much. Yeah, shout out to the fam. Shout out to Alex Grizzly in the house. Shout out to my man No Work, who keeps the dope visuals coming through. Check those out on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/FLEETA PARTEE. Follow me on Facebook.com, FLEETA.Partee. That's the Facebook fan page. And like my main man Gene said, follow me on Twitter at @FPARTEE. And shout out to my family, my kids, and life in general. Happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa. And it feels so good to be in the house with Mr. Gene, Mr. Fly, Mr. Dexter.
Boasted, Bob coasted, commentating on the state of the nation, spitting blatant. My style is flagrant.